Hi guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Gonna read through a fair bit of this article. It is quite lengthy, so we'll see how we go. I might skip over certain parts. There's a link in the description, and it's in regards to presumably a serial killer or killers responsible for the shooting of 5 homeless men in a month. New York City and Washington, D.C. mayors tell homeless people to get off the streets to avoid a serial killer responsible for shooting 5 men in a month. So we're going to have a look at the details here. The mayors of New York City and Washington, D.C. have told homeless people to seek shelter in public facilities to avoid an on-the-run serial killer who they believe has shot at least 5 homeless men in the last month, killing 2. The serial killer most recently struck in the early hours of Saturday morning, killing 1 homeless man and shooting another in the arm within a period of just 1 hour. On Sunday, a 3rd New York City homeless man was found dead in Tribeca. It did not appear that he had been shot, but police are now working to determine his cause of death. Okay, so that may be unrelated, I'd guess, perhaps, I don't know. Earlier this month, 3 homeless men were shot and killed in separate attacks in Washington, D.C. Police now believe that the 3 D.C. men and 1 New York City man who was shot on Saturday were all targeted by the same person. As New York Police Department officers work to catch him, Mayor Eric Adams and Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser are telling homeless people to seek shelter urgently. Quick question, where are they supposed to go? So here's a suspect, or the suspect, believed to have shot and killed a homeless man while he slept. Okay, so here's a picture. A white man? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a white man. It looks white there. Bald. Fairly tall. I believe this is the same man from what the police what the article is saying the police believe. That looks to be a gun. So there's a joint investigation between New York Police Department and Washington, D.C. Police. Okay, so back to the article. As our law enforcement agencies work quickly with federal partners to locate the suspect, we are also calling on unsheltered residents to seek shelter. Many ask where exactly they expect the homeless to go. Seems like a reasonable question to me. In New York City, there are estimated to be around 93,000 homeless people and around 1,600 in DC. Cops in New York City have surveillance footage of a man believed to be black and about 5'4". So I was wrong on both counts there. Believed to be black and about 5'4", fleeing the scene of his second shooting in the early hours of Saturday. Now I'm going to say this, and perhaps I shouldn't, but 5'4", that is very, very short for a man. That is extremely short for a man. I thought he looked tall, but no, he is not tall. That is short. Meanwhile, cops in DC released images of an unmasked man in dark clothing fleeing the second of 3 attacks known to have been carried out in that city. Between the 2 cities, there have been 5 shootings, including 3 homicides. All victims targeted were homeless, although police have yet to outline a motive to explain why the vulnerable men have been targeted. This comes as the United States faces a huge homelessness crisis, where there's recently been 600,000 Americans with no home in 2020. It's is blaming the pandemic. So I don't know if that number's going to continue to increase. I would imagine that it will. I think the economy is just going to continue to tank, frankly, and not just in America. On March the 3rd at 4 a.m., a man was found after police say gunshots were heard on New York Avenue. They went to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. At 1:21 a.m. on March the 8th, police responded to a shooting in H Street in DC, where they found a man with non-life-threatening injuries having been shot. The following day, March the 9th, around 3 a.m., police in DC saw a fire happening in a tent in which a homeless man had been sleeping. After the flames were extinguished, investigators found a dead body. Police believe the man had been murdered after an autopsy revealed gunshot and stab wounds. So that's a pretty horrific murder. Shooting somebody, stabbing somebody, and then presumably setting fire to the tent and perhaps the body. The New York attacks began in the early hours of Saturday when a homeless man was shot in the arm around 4:30 a.m. while sleeping in a doorway in Manhattan. When the suspect fired at him, he woke up and yelled, "What the hell are you doing?" But then the quick-thinking victim pretended to call 911 as he put his fingers to his ear despite not having a phone, fooling the gunman into thinking law enforcement were on their way. The suspect ran off into the night only to find a second unsuspecting homeless man 90 minutes later. That victim, a 33-year-old man, was shot and killed in a Soho doorway. This is an absolute psychopath. The New York Police Department is now offering a $10,000 reward to anyone who can help catch the cold-blooded killer who shot the two homeless men. Why on earth is it only $10,000? That's just nuts. Why not just make it? Why not make it 50,000? I mean, I would make it 50,000 if it were me. I think 100,000 might be too high for the budget, but 10,000 seems too low to me. The second victim died after being shot in the head and neck at 6 a.m. on Lafayette Street, opposite the luxury 11 Howard Hotel. It took 12 hours for police to realize the man was dead and recover his lifeless body, riddled with bullet holes. In the Lafayette Street killing, the suspect was filmed in chilling surveillance footage wearing a black ski mask and black clothing. He was seen prodding the helpless victim several times before looking around before firing his fatal shots. The man's age is not known, but he was described as a Hispanic man. There's the homeless man in the yellow sleeping bag. What an absolute psychopath. In an urgent appeal yesterday, Mayor Eric Adams said homelessness turning into a homicide. We need to find this person and we need New Yorkers to help us. This is a cold-blooded act of murder. I've gone through the rest of the article, but it just gets a little bit vague. It talks about the homelessness issue as well as the crime issues in New York City in particular. I don't know, man. This is stunning and shocking. It's reminding me of two things. It's reminding me of the film American Psycho, which I've not watched for a couple of decades perhaps, but I'm quite sure that in American Psycho, the main protagonist, the Christian Bale character, I can't think of his name, he went killing homeless people, killed one homeless person, tried to kill one, I think. And also there has been another case, which I made a video of back in February, which I'll try to look up here, of a suspected serial killer murdering vulnerable homeless men in the streets. So this, I reported on this in early February. This guy here, a Florida real estate agent, rather. He was known for posing with luxury cars, luxury properties in the Miami-Dade County area, and he's suspected of fatally shooting a 56-year-old man as he slept. I can't remember the full details of the case. Yeah, just the one homeless person, thankfully, I believe, if I have this right. So this is a thing. Hang on, serial killer. This is the thing, killing homeless people. These psychopaths, for whatever reason, they're motivated to kill homeless people, just desperate, destitute people, men, sleeping on the ground, on the cold concrete, and they're being targeted. I don't understand why. Why? I mean, why murder? But why target people in such a desperate situation? They've not harmed these men in any way. These men, these scumbags. So I don't know. So this is the guy that they're looking for. They believe, if I'm understanding this correctly, they believe it's the same person responsible for the killing of two and shooting 5 men, and a 6th homeless man was found dead, but it's not sure if no one's sure if that's related or not. This is awful. I know I've not made the best video here. It's a lot of information to try to order together nicely, but I'm pretty shocked by this. What an absolute tragedy. We do hope that the homeless are better protected, and we hope that the police get the leads that they're looking for. The $10,000 reward. Mayor Eric Adams, please wake the fuck up. Pardon my French. Please wake up. $10,000. Why only $10,000? Just jack it up. Just jack it up. Encourage as many people to come forward with information as possibly as they can. A lot of people won't want to get involved with the police for this reason or that reason. They won't want to be dragged in and have their life thrown into disarray with having to spend time going to trials and doing witness reports and this and that. Is that someone in the background there? So jack up the reward to $50,000, $100,000. You know, let's hope that you do get some better CCTV footage or dash cam footage, witness statements, anything, any leads. This is an absolute psychopath if it is indeed just the one person. And they have to be stopped. They have to be found. They have to be stopped. So let's hope the investigation does make progress. To be honest, I don't really hold much hope. This guy seems to be getting away with it, and if I'm understanding correctly, he's happy to travel from city to city. So I don't know. Please jack up the reward. Try to get some progress happening. I'll thank you for listening. I'll thank you for your time. If you like this type of video, if you see any value in it, and again, I know it's a little bit muddled, to try to do a better job typically, but if you like this, do like, comment, subscribe, share the video. That would be great, and I'll thank you for your time.